Hi friends, welcome to Soulful Spinning. This is my channel where I share my creative journey with the fiber arts, mainly knitting and spinning. So here on the channel you'll find me chatting about fleece preparation, spinning on spindles and on wheels, doing a bit of weaving, doing a bit of quilting, all the things fiber arts related. Today is the last Friday in October 2023. I hope you're very well. I hope you had a good week. I just wanted to pop in here for a quicker video this week and give you an update on my Stephen West Geogradient shawl. And yesterday I took my handheld camera and I just walked around my house, and just in my immediate vicinity I was looking at all my WIPs, my works in progress as we call them. And I have to say I'm just a tad overwhelmed with the number of things that I have started and knowing in which direction to go. So I thought maybe if I went around the house and I just sort of evaluated what was around, and then I also made a list to see what are the things that are nearest to completion, what are the things that I can finish and get off the list. So I'll insert some of that video here. I hope the camera work isn't too shaky for you. There's always timestamps in the description box so that you can jump right to the areas of interest in the video. So I'll be right back after you'll feel a lot better about your WIPs when you see all the things I've got going on. So this is so embarrassing, all the works in progress I have. I have this, I was just going to walk around the house and show you a few of the things I'm working on. Just so if you feel like you've got too many WIPs, you can watch this and really feel good about yourself. So this basket here contains some Shetland wool. I have some of it spun up on a Lendrum bobbin. I've got some of it in a plying ball. I've got my quilt, which I have pieced and was working on this summer, hand quilting this pattern with the circles. They call this orange peel, I think. And then I'm going to do like a leaf pattern on the side. Over here I have my Major Craft Aura, where I'm spinning more of my red singles yarn for my Handspun Felix. Over here I have my Corriedale spin. It was a variegated fleece that I purchased from Observatory Hill Farm. I did a bunch of combings last week. This is my Geogradient MKAL. Still working on clue 2. I've almost done with, well, I'm a good 2/3 of the way through clue 2. So this is my Arboreal sweater by Jennifer Steingass, which I have, I did bind off the bottom, and the sleeves are on hold, and I need to pick up the sleeves and knit the sleeves. So that's another project. It's a WIP. And then in this bag here, they're a 2x2 ribbed sock. And that's just the stuff in my immediate vicinity. Let's go downstairs and I'll show you what I've got going on down there. I have this weaving project. It's a scarf. And I'm almost at the end of the warp. So I'm seriously thinking of this afternoon finishing this up, because it's the closest to completion of all my works in progress. I will have to hem stitch the edge and then finish it, of course, but the weaving itself I think I could do in another hour or two. I have a basket over here, more Corriedale. So this is a white Corriedale that I was spinning up into a bulky-ish, heavy worsted or Aran weight 2-ply on my e-spinner. I've been working on that. Now comes my desk. So here I have Polworth, Inglenook Fibers Polworth from the 12 Days of Christmas. I'm spinning that on a spindle. I have this support spindle project. Now this one is really almost, the singles are almost completely spun up, and so maybe I'll pick that up. You can see where I get a little bit overwhelmed. So those are all the projects that are in my immediate vicinity. And in here, what do I have? I have a couple of spindles of some Rommeldale wool that I was spinning up into a beautiful cream colored yarn. So this is some singles I wound off. So I've got those sitting in there. So, and then I have this, some random BFL singles, I think. Of course, I've just got mohair. Got a pile of mohair. Oh, look at, that'd be pretty together, huh? Here I have an experiment. I have some mohair on the speed whirl, and here I have some fin wool on a top whirl, lace weight top whirl spindle. So I've got that project. Oh, what's under here? Oh yeah, I remember these. So these are my sampler set. I just have a couple more bumps to spin there. And I've got some, that's pretty. Maybe I'll do some support spindling this afternoon. I just keep my, I keep a lot of my support spindles flat in boxes. I don't know if that's a bad thing to do or not, but I have so many that there's just no way I would be able to, I'd have to have a huge rack. So I'll wind those off. This is, yeah, some Mirkwood spindle that my dear friend Doro kindly gifted me. Isn't it pretty? What's this? This is some, oh, I know what this is. This is some, this is some Corriedale cross wool that's combed up. These are my autumn mice socks. Obviously not cast on yet. All right, let's go see what's drying in my laundry room. So, day before yesterday, we had the most beautiful warm day here. It was nearly 80 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. So I pulled this, it's just like a pearlescent wool. I don't know if you can guess what it is. If you follow me on Instagram, you know exactly what it is. Got any guesses on what it is? Here, I'll give you the big giveaway here. You'll be able to figure it out right away. You know what it is, don't you? Yep, Icelandic. This is a gorgeous fleece from the fall of 2022. So yes, quite a bit. So this morning I was just in my laundry room / studio, and I was clearing off some bobbins because I'm focusing on that gray and white fleece that I showed last week. It's a Corriedale fleece, and I'm really determined to get that spun up into 4 different shades, grading from light, very light pale gray to a dark gray. But all my bobbins were full, so I'm winding off all the bobbins and labeling all the little samples. I tend to start things a lot and then not follow through. So I'm a work in progress, just like all my other works in progress. trying to do a continental. So I'm still on clue 2. I'm on the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 2 more rows of eyelets to do. It's got about 7 more stripes. So, and the rest of the shawl is quite involved, so it's gonna be a while before I finish this. I'm hoping I get this done by Thanksgiving, maybe. It's beautiful. I just watched the clue 3, and oh my gosh, it's just a beautiful texture, and I got a lot of good ideas on how I'm going to do the border and the finishing. So anywho, let me show you my progress on my Stephen West Geogradient. I ran into a couple of snafus this week. The shawl is designed so that you're basically having to do one thing on one side of the shawl and then the same thing on the other. And I messed up my color sequence, and it was going to bother me if I left it that way. So I had some unknitting to do this week. And I was already, quote unquote, behind in terms of keeping up with the clues. But I have to say, I was getting a little obsessed with this project to the negligence of everything else that I have to do in my life. And so I sort of stepped back and said, you know, if I get it done by Thanksgiving, if I get it done by Christmas, before the end of the year, I'll be happy. So let me show you my progress. With the MKAL stands for Mystery Knit Along, and Stephen West has been doing this for, I think this is the 14th year. So starting at the beginning of October, he gives 4 clues. And there's this mad kind of obsession to finish the clue before the next clue comes out. And I've only completed one other Mystery Knit Along, and it was last year, and I don't think I finished it until the following winter. But let me show you my progress so far. I finished all of clue 2. So it's very, very colorful. So the main, it starts with a central square, radiating squares. And in his pattern, you just start in the center and you go in sequence. Oops, it's on my microphone. There we go. And you go round and round. I decided to start out with this Afghan square. This is the Berlin square by Kate Davis. It's also I think it's a traditional Afghan square. And what I liked about this is the symmetry of it. It gives a little bit of interest in the middle of the shawl. And I also liked the fact that I was doing these yarn over increases at all the vertices. And I was really happy about that because later on in the shawl, try not to lose any stitches, you have this series of eyelet rows here. So I feel like my decision to go with the eyelet increases is a nice design element. So in the corners of the original shawl, Stephen has you have 2 stitches in between markers here. And I only had 1 stitch in between the markers. So I had to do a little bit of algebra to figure out how to get the required number of stitches at the end of clue 1. So I was basically increasing 8 stitches every other round. And so I just did some finagling where I had to knit a couple of rounds plain at the end, and then I think I was short 4 stitches, and so I increased the 4 stitches in between my markers. So if you can tell, all along here I have 1, there's this spine here, 1 stitch, and then I just increased to 2, I think in the last row. I wanted to end with the dark so I could start with this light color, this orange. So yeah, this was a kit from Stephen and Penelope. It was the lipstick gradient, and I made a couple of modifications. I added 2 colors. I've spoken more about this project in the last couple videos, but just the Cliff Notes version. This pink here is some Pole Dorset fleece wool from Renaissance Dyeing, and the green is also, and then I held it with mohair. I held these 2 with mohair. Can you see the fuzz there? Yeah. So, and then I think I swapped out one of the colors. So this red, here, I'll show you here. This is the red that I'm using. This is from Dream in Color. It's their smushy base cashmere merino nylon. This was the original color, which is the lipstick color. But I swapped it out for this because this has a little bit more of the pinks. And I thought it picked up the pink of my pink yarn here. So here's my 2 colors. Whoops, my focus is supposed to be right here. There. So yeah, pretty, huh? I love it. So pretty happy with my progress. I've been motivated by all the beautiful colors. I've been following Irina from Fiber Chats. She's been doing a bunch of Humans of Westnet's Zoom meetings. I participated in one a couple Saturdays ago, and it's really fun to see everybody's variations and their progress. Though I was teasing my husband yesterday because he said, you could just talk about that shawl forever. He thinks I'm just a little bit obsessed with the shawl. And I thought, Irina, you should have a Zoom meeting for all the partners or spouses of the participants, because I'm sure they're sick to death of hearing about the shawl and not spending any time with their loved ones, because in every spare moment they're knitting on their mystery shawl. So I'm going to start Clue 3 this afternoon, and Clue 4 is amazing. It's going to be quite a lot of work. If you're interested in seeing what Clue 3 and Clue 4 looks like, go ahead and check out Stephen's videos. He goes through every little step of the way. And in the last clue, he actually has this special stitch, and he recommends you doing a swatch, and he has directions for the swatch. So as a former teacher, I really appreciate Stephen's instruction. He really repeats a lot. He really explains things in detail. He shows left-handed knitting, right-handed knitting. He's a pretty remarkable teacher, remarkable human. And yeah, so there's my shawl. I can't wait for it to be finished so I can wear it with a black dress or wear it under my coat. I'm super excited. So I did have to take a break because I was knitting so much I was getting shoulder pain, and really, you know, when you're starting to have pain from your hobby, you should probably switch your hobby for just a little while. So the other thing I did this week is I washed a languishing fleece. I had an Icelandic fleece that needed scouring. Here's a little sample of that. So this is just a piece of the fleece. You can guess what it is. It's an Icelandic. It was a lamb's fleece from 2022. I purchased the fleece from Minnesota Shepherd. I'll have her information linked below, her shop linked below. And we had an exceptionally warm day a couple days ago, and I washed it. But because Icelandic felts really super easily, when I took it out of the water, I just let it drain on its own, pressed a towel on it very gently, and I've just been letting it dry. So it's been taking several days to dry because I don't have a spin dryer. And so it's taken a little bit, but you can see it's just gorgeous. It's heavy in fell. So Icelandic is a dual-coated fleece. It has a long, let me pull out a lock here without disturbing the fell too much here. So Icelandic has two coats. You can see these longer fibers are called the tag, and that's allows the water to drip off the animal. It repels the water. And then you have this short, fine, downy inner coat called the thell. And you can spin this a number of ways. In your typical Lopi yarns, they card both coats together and then they spin. But you can also separate the longer fibers, maybe use that for warp, and then spin that worsted, and then take the fell and spin that in a woolen, and then you could weave. I think that might have been something that was originally traditionally done, but I'm going to go ahead with carding it together, I think. Though I'm thinking of experimenting with flicking out these tag fibers and then spinning from the lock. I don't know how that's going to work. So typically when you have your fiber where you have short fibers and longer fibers, as you spin, the longer fibers are going to be drafted first, and then leaving the clump of shorter fibers. So if you've ever spun like a yak blend where the merino's longer than, like a merino silk, yak silk. Silk is a longer fiber and the yak is short, and so sometimes you end up with this clump of yak or short fibers in your palm. So I'm thinking I'm just going to probably card this together and spin it into a thick Lopi type singles and probably make a sweater. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, pearlescent white, gorgeous fleece. So I've got some socks I've been working on. I just picked these up this morning because I really have to pay some attention to some of my other projects. So I have a pair of socks on the go. This is just it's just a 2x2 sock from Nancy Bush's Folk Sock book. I've talked about this in previous episodes. So I've been working on that. Not too exciting. And the other project that I've been working on is my arboreal sweater. I have bound off for the hem, and here I'll put it on because it's off the needles except the sleeves. The microphone here. So let's see, you can see this here. So you can see it's a nice length. It fits well in the shoulders. And so yeah, so all I have to do now is, I have to pick up the stitches for the sleeves and knit both sleeves. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having this one done so I can wear it on my dog walks and so on. So yeah, so let me take that off now. So I'm going to give this project some love this weekend. Now that I'm well and truly behind in the MKAL, I like whatever, and plus the Clue 3 and Clue 4 are very labor intensive, and they're not the kind of stitch pattern that you can knit while you're watching TV or something. So I figure once I get, see if I'm still in frame here, yeah. So once I get the sleeves started and my decreases out of the way, this will be some nice, easy, meditative knitting while I watch television. So yeah, that's about it for me today, folks. Somebody asked me, what is this back here? What is this wooden thing back here? And that is my loom. That's my shocked flip loom there. And as you can see, it's bare. It doesn't have anything on it. But I do have another project, this one. I have this project on my Ashford Knitters loom. And this was one that I showed when I did my my WIP Parade just a little bit ago. So I think I'm going to work on this after I'm finished filming here. And I'll probably get this done today. You're funny. You're so funny. Got to finish my weaving. I'm almost done. This is my weft yarn. This is scrumptious lace, 45% silk, 55% merino, and the color is gold, appropriately named gold. So here's the beautiful gold. And then this is the warp. This was a sock yarn, or this is a sock yarn. Garfield Park Reflection. From you to me to you. I think it's a Chicagoland dyer. And the colorway is Garfield Park Reflection. There's old girlfriend taking a snoozle. Sweet tea. Let's move it close there. Oops, a little out of practice. So I'm watching Callie talk about how to hem stitch at the other end because I forgot how to do it. Callie Casanova's got a wonderful channel all about weaving, a lot of rigid heddle weaving on there. So highly recommend her channel. I'll link her channel below. I've got my tapestry needles. Yeah, so what she said is you cut off about 4 times the width of your piece here. And a little bit extra. I love this thing. It made the whole process a lot faster. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to do a hem stitch. I'm going to use this bent tapestry needle here. all the ends need to be trimmed off where I started new wefts. And then the fringe has to be sorted. But it is off the loom. Super excited. I can't wait to finish it up. Figure out the fringe, wash it, and yeah, a lot of projects on the go. Let me know how you manage all of your multiple works in progress, or are you one of those rare people who work on one project and complete that one project and then move on to the next? There are a few people I follow, they say they don't even have stash. They buy what they need for their project, they do their project, and then they go on to the next project. Wow, that is so not me. I admire that greatly. But all right, I hope this finds you well. I will see you again next week, where hopefully I'll have some progress with Clue 3 on my Geogradient shawl and a few FOs to show off next time. I hope you're hanging in there. I hope you're well, and we'll see you very soon. Take care, friends. Bye for now. It's the 24th of October, and look at my tree. Old Miss Maple's changing her colors. Oh, look at it. Just beauty in my neighborhood. I don't live anywhere fancy. But there's certainly beauty in the everyday, isn't there, Peaches? Goodness, are you a bumble? Look at that. There's a bumble on the marigold. You better start getting ready. Better start getting ready for winter. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises of someday make his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and around in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels round the town. And they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet too slow, the circle's down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and around in the circle game. So the years spin by, and now the boy is 20, and his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true. There'll be new dreams
maybe better dreams and plenty before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game.